So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my people. This is still like the longest time. I just want to remind you guys that now is still the best time for you to start your project, be it renovation project, be it duplex. But let me talk about duplex. It is high time we start building what we can afford. There are people that can afford 300 million naira projects without shaking, and there are some people that can afford 100 million naira projects without shaking, and there are some people that can afford 80 million naira projects. It's just that sometimes when you show them the 80 million naira project, they will not like it. They will like the 300 million project for a duplex, especially if you are building something like a 5-bedroom duplex. A 5-bedroom duplex, you are going to spend millions. You are going to spend a whole lot of millions, hundreds of millions, if not up to 200, for the building, for the finishing and the furnishing. You should be looking at maybe 200 million, because when you are done with the building, you fit the fittings and the furnishing. When you are also done, you also look at the fencing, the landscaping. You look at the borehole. Before you be able to stay inside the house, you should have spent nothing less than, I don't want to name the price because it depends on what you actually want. So if you're looking at a project that you can finish with 80 million naira, 100 million naira, there have to be a whole lot of thinking and a whole lot of managing of costs. You have to remove a whole lot of luxury from your projects. A whole lot of luxury from your projects. But it's also good. It's also going to come out fine. But you cannot compare it with a house built with 200 million. A house of 80 million, you're comparing it with a house of 200 million. So that's why I'm also saying, because many of you are wonderful clients, send those project pictures. I want this building, I want this type of building, and we tell you this is the cost this person spent, estimated cost the person sent to actually finish this project, and at the end of the day you don't want to spend that kind of money and that resources in that your own. But once you are told to maybe cut costs or reduce this one or reduce this one, you don't want to actually reduce that cost. So how will you be able to achieve that project with that cost and also want to get the same result? That's why so many people collect money from you. They will collect money from you. At the end of the day, you will get what you ordered versus what you got. Most times what you actually want and the budget you have for it might not actually tarry. So what you should be looking at is somebody that will tell you the actual truth of what that thing will actually cost. So somebody sends you a picture of a house that is costing 180, 200, and is telling you that you can achieve it with 100. So is the person a magician? Coupled with the fact that a bag of cement now is almost 12,500. Most of the materials are on the high side. Don't want to talk about the cost of labor. So all these things are things you put into consideration. If you want a house of 80 million, you have to talk with your clients and with your architects. Reduce costs. But if you want luxury, do you know that there are so many houses that are very simple? Many houses that are very simple, very, very simple, but they took money. Very simple. But they took more money because most of the things that have been sourced inside that house, most of the materials sourced to do that house are premium. You can't compare somebody that is using Wishtech products. You know Wishtech products. You know Wishtech, they are into paint, electrical, they're into plumbing, they're into roofing, they're into everything, painting, almost everything about house. Their product is 3 times, 4 times the cost of normal average products in the market. But once you use their product, you know that you are using the original products that you're supposed to use. You can never compare their product with other products because they don't compromise. So you can actually see the paint and you think it's normal paint that they are using for other houses, without knowing that a bucket of their paint is almost 300,000 naira for one bucket. Just one bucket of their paint, which tech paint, is 300,000. Screening paint is 120, 8,000. The cost is much. So if somebody do not explain all these things to you, they will tell you the cost is 200 million, and you say why? But you are buying your screening paint of 10,000 naira, 6,500 to screed, and somebody is buying a screening paint of 8,000, 90,000 naira. You can't compare the quality. You are using a paint of 60,000. Somebody else is using a paint of 250,000 naira, and you want the two paints to be the same. So cut your cost. You understand? Come to us with what you want. We'll give you to you according to what we explain. Everything it does for you. If you want luxury, you bring money. If you want us to cut costs, not cost to like use inferior things, but you have to reduce so many things. It is about brief with your clients, with your architects, with your engineer. The brief is very important because it will help you to know what you are spending. If I'm going to spend 150 million naira to get my project done, if I'm going to spend 100 million naira to get my project done, so that's just what you have to think about before you actually start. It's costly now. Things are not the same again. So it's better you start now before our guy enters second tenor. Peace out.